IVC, Dale, Gateful 33 here. This is hopefully going to be a quick video, a response video. Richard McCook has, in his last video, showed some artists who produce only one studio album, and so I thought I'd try and do a response. As probably per usual, I've tried to make this hard for myself. So what I think I've done here is I've picked 10 UK folk related artists who made only one studio album. And by one studio album, what I'm saying here is I'm dismissing any kind of later archival type releases that included outtakes and other things that were recorded in the sessions, because some of these have got that. So yeah, so 10, say folk related. Some of them are folk psych, some of them are folk prog, some of them are just folk, and some I've already shown before because I'm stretching my collection to find 10 single album artists in that genre. But I thought, as it's autumn and to continue the theme, I'd stick with the sort of folky theme. So first up is this, The Bunch and Rock On. So this is not necessarily a folk album because it's a rock and roll pop style covers album, but it's done as by a kind of super group of folks royalty. So it says here it's got Sandy Denny, Richard Thompson, Ashley Hutchins, Dave Mattox, Linda Peters, later to become Linda Thompson, and I think Trevor Lucas was the person who pulled it all together. So it's got a lot of the kind of Fairport Convention and related came together to do this album. It's not entirely successful in my. It's not entirely successful in my opinion. So it's absolutely. I think they try and deliver it earnestly, but so they do like the Locomotion, Willie and the Hand Jive, When Will I Be Loved, which I do think actually they do a pretty good job on. Sweet Little Rock and Roller. So it's a sort of rock and roll pop done by folk people, and you can tell they're folk people. So it's a good effort, but I'm not sure where it sits in terms of this is a record that I really think I want to listen to. But it's a very interesting piece. This is a US radio copy version of it, I think. So that's that. Next, from '68, and sort of a lot of these are actually interrelated. So this is a collection, and their only album from '68, and a collection there, and that is Trevor Lucas, who was Sandy Denny's, probably became Sandy Denny's boyfriend and then husband. But a collection, yeah, we're a kind of pop psych folk band. This is a really good album, some really strong moments on it, but it was their only release in the kind of folk psych pop genre. So that's from '68. So I'm putting these are in alphabetical order. So there's no kind of ranking in these. They're in alphabetical order. This I've shown before. So this is from 2005, 18th day of May. This is a very kind of authentic folk rock, UK folk rock outfit who only recorded one album to date. This is a reissue from this year actually, where you get the original album plus a lot of outtakes, but only one studio album, 18th day of May 2005. Very much in the sort of Fairport Convention folk rock vein. Really strong album. Sort of recommended that. This I've shown very recently, but I thought I'd put it in because I was struggling for 10. So Foggy. So this is members of the Strawbs doing the backing and some of the writing. Got these two guys who are Danny and Lenny. So Danny Clark and Lenny Wesley seem to be the main singers and performers, and around them are members of the Strawbs who provided, as I say, some of the instrumentation, or supplementary instrumentation on top of the acoustic guitars, and some of the songwriting. So that's that. Good album, sort of folk rock. Rob Ison shows this recently. This is my Hannibal reissue, I think. Is it a Hannibal reissue of Fotheringay? So Fotheringay again, kind of another collective. There's Trevor Lucas again. There's Sandy Denny again. Sorry, all these are going to finish on the floor in a minute. And they put out one studio album. They did put out, say, there was an archival release of 2 that came out in 2000s, but this is really their only proper album. Again, a beautiful, really strong album, continuing the sort of Sandy Denny Fairport Convention style, but it was after she had left the band and was breaking out on her own that this came about. So that's Fotheringay. Not sure if this counts, but I'm putting it in anyway. So this is the Wicker Man soundtrack. So Paul Giovanni, is it Paul Giovanni, something like that? Giovanni, 1973, Wicker Man. This is a recent reissue on silver screens. So that is more of a concept album to suit the film of Scottish folk, and kind of all that went with the theme of the Wicker Man film, if you've seen it. So that's. But as far as I can tell, his only album, certainly in that vein. This again, very recent, was a Record Store Day August 2020 drop. This is probably prog folk, absolutely fantastic album. The song Silver Song. This is Mellow Candle and Swaddling Songs. And this is a fantastic release. Oh, there they are. Male and female vocals, folk rock, folk prog instrumentation, and as I say, some really strong material. I've really enjoyed this. I've played this a few times. Really enjoyed this album. And originals cost an absolute fortune. This is maybe singer-songwriter or folk psych, Mandy Moore. Again, this is a reissue. Most of it was all reissues, pretty much, apart from that collection. I think the song "If Not by Fire" features on a lot of folk psych comps. The rest of the albums I played that. So this is another reissue that pulls together the original album with archival material in a 2-album set that came out on Sunbeam Records a few years ago. I think it's okay, the actual album. I think the If Not by Fire is a bit of an outlier in terms of it is a really strong song. I think the other stuff is just okay from memory. But yeah, Mandy Moore. But That Is Me album. Where are we? Penultimate, All on the First Day by Tony, Caro and John. So three people, very more sort of traditional folk, very sparse instrumentation. Let's insert here. There they are, 1972, the song itself, All on the First Day, is a standout, as is Eclipse of the Moon. So it's got some kind of folk psych leanings with that really sparse, kind of haunting folk sound going on it. All on the First Day. This is obviously not an original as well. And then finally, again, an album I've probably shown before, Trader Horn, which was a collaboration between Judy Dybel, who sadly passed away this year, and Jackie McCauley. This is a Flashback Records reissue, very lavish. See how thick that is. It comes with a booklet and a single and all sorts. But yeah, this is kind of, again, I don't know, this is a folk rock with a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a West Coast theme, a feel to it, I guess, on it. But yeah, Trader Horn, so Judy Dybel, sort of coming back round, was originally the lead singer in Fairport Convention in the first album, so it's all kind of goes around and comes around with this, but that's my final one. So yeah, just thought I'd do 10 records, one-off studio releases by artists with a kind of folk style for autumn link. Okay, that's it. Cheers, thanks, bye.